Coming off of one of the biggest upset wins in team history, the St. Louis Dragons look to keep the good times rolling here in Week 8 as we kick off the first of a 4-game homestand on Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears. We're going to be at the crib a lot this next month, and since we're at Week 8, we've made it to the NFL trade deadline. So last week's win against the Steelers was particularly surprising, being that we had only won one game since Week 2. The game was on the road against a Steelers team who was 6-0, and obviously the biggest thing is that we were without 8 starters due to injury, but we found a way to win with young guys such as Colin Robinson really stepping up. It wasn't always perfect though. Puma Whitlock did throw 3 interceptions, albeit 2 of them weren't really his fault. But nonetheless, we get the win. We save our season. Things really could have gone downhill if we lost that game, so the fact that we won it really puts us in a much better spot here going into the trade deadline. And I don't think there's any obvious holes on the roster. The pass game's been good. The run game's been good. The O-line has mostly been solid. Defensively, when healthy, we've been really good, but that's been the issue with this team is health. And I think it would be in our best interest to really look at acquiring veteran depth during the trade deadline rather than going for a big swing. Make sure we have contingency plans in case guys get injured. I think our roster as a whole right now is pretty well rounded, especially considering 5 of the guys who were out last week are going to be back. We only have 3 guys injured right now, and all of them are going to be healthy within the next couple of weeks. But as we've seen in this series and the other series is on the channel with the Blazers and the Marlins, once we start getting healthy is usually when we get an influx of injuries, so I'm not going to be overly confident with that. We also have to be mindful of players whose contracts are up, and obviously we have to be a lot smarter around the cap, being that Puma Whitlock is going to make $60 to $70 million a year, Simeon Bonnet's going to make $40, Arturo Modelo's probably going to make around $20, so obviously we're not going to be able to bring everybody back here, so we've got to keep that in mind and potentially look to trade key players because, well, we're not going to pay them. So I think the biggest area we could look to add depth in is probably the trenches, in particular the offensive line. Obviously, Jawan Taylor and Zach Tom have both been pretty bad this year, so we could also theoretically look to start this player. And there are some good offensive linemen on the block. I want guys who have a lot of positional flexibility on the inside. Connor McGovern with the Bills, I think, would be a pretty good choice. He's a little bit older. He wouldn't cost as much. But there's some good young options as well who could be long-term starters. Benjamin Boisson is the 11th ranked center in the league. Problem is he plays behind Frank Ragnow. At right guard, we've got a couple players here with development traits. Trevor Skandrick out of Bethune-Cookman on the Carolina Panthers is a good player. And then with the rival Seahawks, Asamoah Obadiah. I don't know how Seattle would feel about trading with us, but we have done business with them and the Rams in the past. So I put these guys in the trade finder. For McGovern, the Bills would ask for, ironically, Colin Robinson or Devontae Wyatt or draft picks. If this was before last week, maybe I'd say yes. The Lions want Arturo Modelo for Benjamin Boisson. So I don't think we're going to make anything work here with Detroit. Maybe one of these other guards is going to be easier? Not really. These teams want high draft picks from us. The Bills were the only team who wasn't asking for like second round value, but they were asking for Devontae Wyatt, who's our sack leader, and Colin Robinson, who I now know is really good. So I think I'm going to have to set my sights lower. I think Kekoa Kalayani from the Dolphins could be a good choice, and they want Cam Lucifer. No. What are these teams thinking? These guys are backups on the trade block. So maybe we need somebody older than 22. What about Inazuma Mitsugu with the Chargers in his 3rd year out of Stanford? He's 24 years old. Okay, this seems a little bit more reasonable. I don't love the idea of giving up Devontae Wyatt or Orlin Babylon. They do need depth at running back, though. What about J.J. Booker? And to my surprise, they took it. Okay, well, that was pretty easy. We're swapping J.J. Booker for Mitsugu, who I think is going to be a solid depth piece for us. He's got guard tackle flexibility, and he was a highly regarded prospect. 2nd rounder a few years ago, was projected, I think, to go in the 1st round at one point. Just hasn't really gotten to play. He's been behind Zion Johnson. Now he gets a chance with us. I was going through our expiring players, and being that we're 4-2, and a lot of these guys aren't asking for outrageous prices except for the really good players, there aren't really any guys who I think I really want to trade right now. We are going to look at moving defensive lineman Mamadou Diaby, though. He's just not a guy we really need, so why not get some value for him? The Raiders appear to be interested. We're going to get a 5th rounder for him and then swap a 7th for a 6th. The 5th rounder is next year, while the 6th and 7 are this year. We had 3 picks in the 7th round, so we really didn't need that. And we're going to make a move off the practice squad. We've traded away J.J. Booker. We're going to call up Franklin Headliner, a day 3 draft pick a couple years ago out of North Texas. He'll get an opportunity on the active roster, and if he struggles, we also have Zeke Mosley on the practice squad as well. So those are going to be our trade deadline moves. I know it was kind of unexciting, but I didn't really want to make a splash. We got some good depth on the offensive line. We didn't necessarily turn things over in a major way. I think our roster went healthy as a contender. It's just a matter of staying healthy, and I feel like we added some depth today. Let's take a look at the moves around the rest of the league, though, and boy, there are some big ones. The Titans are 0-7. They're going to sell the farm, trading Marquise Brown in a 6th to the Green Bay Packers, who have been one of the biggest surprises in the league this year, for a 4th. They're also going to be trading away Matt Milano in a 7th. Milano will go back to the Bills, where it all started, for a 5th. My glorious King Chidobe Awuzie is being traded in division to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 5th and a 7th. Awuzie is 32 years old, keep in mind, but he does have Superstar X Factor. Byron Murphy in a 5th will go to the Rams for a 3rd. The Rams are kind of throwing stuff at the wall and hope it sticks. They're obviously not a very good team, but they still would like to contend. This is a big one. Brian Branch in a 6 will go to the Jets for a 2nd. Branch is only 25 years old. He's got superstar development, currently playing on the franchise tag. The Lions don't want to pay him, though, and he's going to be sent away to the New York Jets. As a Lion fan, it does hurt me inside trading away Brian Branch, but it doesn't look like they're going to pay him. Josh Sweat and a 5 will go to the Jaguars for a 3. Jacksonville's missing that alpha pass rusher. They hope that Josh Sweat can potentially be that for them. And we've got some more defensive linemen on the move. Here's a big one. Jonathan Allen to the New York Giants for a 3rd and a 5th. So John Allen goes in division. Washington just wanted to get as much value as possible. And again, they're not looking to extend Jonathan Allen. And then Zach Allen will go to the Seahawks for a 5th. Seattle being 6-1 feels like they've got to make a move, and Zach Allen's going to give them some strong depth. So that's our trade deadline. Nothing overly crazy, I guess, other than Jonathan Allen and Brian Branch, but certainly a large amount of moves around the league, especially on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of big-time defensive pieces going to contending teams, whereas we mostly stay put. Again, I like where our roster's at. Our pass rush was really good last week without Simeon Bonnet, and that includes DeJuan Overton, who has a breakout challenge. Overton is in his 4th year. He's one of the many guys who is expiring, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to keep him around, but our pass rush performing well without Bonnet reassured me that we need to keep guys like Overton and Trajan Blyshenden and Oral and Babylon for the rest of the year and see it out with them. Let's take a look at our opponent, the Chicago Bears, who are 2-5. Justin Fields is still the quarterback, and it's interesting because obviously he's super talented, but he hasn't really gotten better since his 3rd year. He's been the same guy, and that's not a bad player by any stretch. Obviously a big threat on the ground, but the Bears haven't really been able to raise their team's ceiling with him. Out of the backfield, DeAndre Swift, the former Dragon, is the running back. And unfortunately for him, he has really fallen off. It looks like we made the right decision to let him go. Swift is splitting carries with Kyer Moore, who is banged up. He will play today, however. Their receiving core is not very good, led by Darnell Mooney, Deontay Johnson. They do have some good youngsters with Devontae Monk, Xavier Creed, and Donovan Smart. But overall, the skill group is probably the worst in the NFL. They have drafted well defensively with Hakeem Cypress, Aramis Swearinger, Mamarou Kazili, Ralph Cookins, and others. But overall, the Bears roster is very uninspiring. Their highest rated players are an 86 overall. They really lack star power, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And you really can't blame Justin Fields when his best skill position player is a 28-year-old DeAndre Swift and Darnell Mooney. That's really not ideal. So hopefully the Dragons can win this one and prove to 5-2 on their homestand, coming off a crazy win last week against the Steelers. Theoretically, this game should be a lot easier, but who would have expected us to beat Pittsburgh last week? So for all we know, the Bears might come in and catch us flat. So the Bears will start with the ball. We'll take a look at Justin Fields, who historically has played pretty well against us. He always runs for a lot, as B.J. Ojulari is into the backfield with a sack. Ojulari missed a handful of games earlier in the year, came back last week, had a couple pressures, and now he's in the backfield with a QB takedown. The Bears are just going to run the ball here on 3rd and 18. This is Oscar Udega, the 3rd running back. The youngster out of Duke only gets 3, wrapped up by Trenton Simpson, who made some plays last week, getting extended playing time with Owen Popo's injury. As the Dragons have it. Whoop! What a move by Milan Santa! That might be the coolest gain of 7 I've ever seen in my entire life. So quite the start there for the rookie Milan Santa, who continues to improve. 2nd and 3. Puma on the curl route gets it to Jamison Williams. Good to have him healthy. Jamo has missed 3 games this year for 3 separate injuries. 3rd and 8. Puma under pressure, rolls out left, looking for Modelo, and the ball is popped away, incomplete. That's Tyreek Stevenson with the pass breakup, and that'll bring out the field goal unit. Cameron Dicker, I feel like, is still kind of kicking for his job after really performing poorly in some of those losses. He makes the chip shot field goal, and it's 3-0. Fields keeps it on the read option, goes up the middle with room. Nice run for Justin Fields as Devontae Wyatt is dinged up. He would bruise his sternum. Not a serious injury, but he will be out for the game. Not ideal. 2nd and 6 up the middle. DeAndre Swift, the former Dragon, with a first down run. Nice having Swift back. He was a great player for us for 4 years when healthy. 3rd and 8. Fields looking downfield, incomplete for Deontay Johnson. The Bears haven't even really tried to throw the ball. Fields is 0 for 2 in a battle of the Buckeye quarterbacks. The last time Puma Whitlock faced off against another Ohio State quarterback was week 1 when him and C.J. Stroud combined for 5 interceptions. That one, nearly a punt inside the 1 or 2 yard line, but it goes in the end zone. The Dragons dodge a bullet. 3rd and 2, Darwin Juskins with the rock, and he does not get it. Big tackle by Jaquan Brisker. And on 4th and inches, the Dragons would punt it. It's too early to go forward inside the 30. We're not going to be stupid. Presley Harvin did not have to punt it last week, but he does here in the first quarter today. Fields under pressure. He is sacked for a 2nd time in this one. It's Orlin Babylon in the backfield. Babylon had a career day last week. Looking to make some more plays here. 3rd and 17. Fields under pressure. Rolls out right, and he will throw it away. I really can't explain why the pass rush has been better without the reigning Defensive Player of the Year who had 21 sacks last year. It doesn't really make much sense. Dragons back with it. Tornado Davis to the right side. Gets around 14. Good to see Davis making a nice play as the Dragons look to continue to use him within the offense. Under a minute to go in the quarter. Puma Whitlock with a clean pocket as Arturo Modelo wide open. Outruns Brisker. He is gone. It's Modelo time. Arturo Modelo in the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the year. Modelo leads all players in terms of catches and yards in the NFL. A little bit behind in touchdowns as the Dragons added their lead. It's 10-0. Bears back with it here at the end of the quarter. Play action. Fields under pressure. He is sacked again. Nnamdi Sanaga in the backfield with a sack. Pretty much all of our defensive linemen have gotten sacks today except for DeJuan Overton, who has the breakout challenge, but still 3 sacks in the first quarter. Without Bonnet, very impressive. 2nd and 17, Fields gets nothing, wrapped up by Simpson as Orlin Babylon is hurt. He would also bruise his sternum and will also be out for the game. We don't exactly have a ton of depth on the defensive line. Maybe we shouldn't have traded away Mamadou Diaby because I think we only have 4 or 5 healthy D linemen right now. 3rd and 17, Fields goes for the check down, and it gets them around 3. Nice tackle there by the Dragons' tackle leader on the year, Samasoni Saluni, who stops the tight end Donovan Smart in his tracks. Dragons back with it, play action. Puma Whitlock with a clean pocket, fires for Tykeem Keon Jr., and now he gets banged up. Keon, one of the many Dragons to miss last week's game, he should be fine, but if nothing else, this may mean more Colin Robinson snaps, so that's cool. On 2nd down, here's Juskins to the left side with room. Big run for Darwin Juskins, who gets it to the 34-yard line. Following play, back to Juskins. Gets out of trouble with more room inside the 10 to the 5. What a drive for Darwin Juskins. Back-to-back huge runs for the 4th-year back out of Washington. 1st and goal. Puma looking to scramble. He is sacked, and he appears to be in a little bit of pain. Shouldn't be a serious injury, but it looks like he's grabbing at his back. It's Mamaruk Uzili with the sack, former top 10 pick a couple years ago. The Bears used us to trade up for him. 3rd and goal. Puma on the move has Weaver wide open for the score. Griffin Weaver III will walk into the end zone. Obviously, we gave Colin Robinson all the attention last week, but Weaver was one of the few healthy pass catchers, and he as well played really well against the Steelers. 17-0. Dragons looking to make this game a blowout as Kyer Moore hopping through rushing lanes to the 41. Moore is battling a number of injuries. Got to give him credit for playing through it. I don't know why the Bears are having him play. They have two very capable, healthy running backs, including this guy, DeAndre Swift. Breaks a tackle. Swift breaks another. He's gone! 41-yard touchdown for DeAndre Swift. But there's one problem. This one is coming back. A holding call against the Chicago offensive line on the guard, Anthony Bradford. Not ideal. So DeAndre Swift has his touchdown called back. 3rd and 8. Fields on the move under a little pressure. Has an open man. It's Kyer Moore for the first down. Devin White wanted to be the QB spy there. I feel like B.J. Ojulari could have made the play. And because of that, White was distracted. He wasn't able to cover Moore. And the Bears keep the chains moving. 3rd and 5. Fields looks to throw it. He goes short. That's another first down into the red zone. So Chicago's offense finally appears to be in business. That's another former Dragon, Tommy Tremble, who makes the play. From the 13, Fields to the left side under pressure. He's intercepted! Ryan Nada picks it off. The first-round draft pick getting some more playing time, continuing to make plays as the Michigan Wolverine is in with his second interception of his career. Both of his first 2 interceptions have been against Ohio State quarterbacks, ironically. The other one was against C.J. Stroud back in Week 1. 3rd and 1, Darwin Juskins does not get the first down. Another stop for the Bears. And again, it's 4th and inches at the 19. We're not going to go for it. Former first-round linebacker Hasim Cypress is there to bring him down. Fields on the read option loses 4. I told you, B.J. Ojulari is going to be there to make the play as Ojulari forces a big loss. Very strong first half so far for Ojulari. 2nd and long, receiver in motion. Kyer Moore with the handoff, cuts right side with room. Gets annihilated by Samasoni Saluni, but not before getting the first down. And it looks like the Bears offense, again, seems to have a little bit of the rhythm, just as they had on the last drive, despite the turnover. Play action, Fields under pressure. He is sacked by the rookie, Cohen Della Vienna. That's 4 sacks now for the Dragons. Among their 5 healthy defensive linemen, everybody has a sack except for the guy with the breakout challenge, DeJuan Overton. Overton's due for one, right? 3rd and 6, caught by Johnson. And he does get the first down. They're going to give it to him as he breaks the tackle from Jeff Okuda, who's missed the last few weeks with injury. Fields tripped up, and he gets a yard. That was supposed to be the DeJuan Overton sack, but Fields got forward progress. On 2nd down, Fields is going to hobble forward for a first down. Good run there by Justin Fields. Look at the clock. There's 14 seconds now. 3rd and 4th to 14. Chicago still has a timeout. Fields up the middle for Lufate Monk, who only gets 3. Big hit there, stopping the 3rd down conversion. The Dragons are going to call time there. They think they can do something with 10 seconds left, as the field goal team is on for the Bears, and the shutout is no more, as it's now 17-3. There's 3 seconds left on the clock here for the Dragons. Presumably they're going to look downfield. Puma goes deep for Isaiah Likely, who does make the catch, but he's wrapped up at the 49. And that'll wrap up the first half. Very strong first 2 quarters here for the St. Louis Dragons, leading 17-3. We've been really good on offense. The passing game's been good. The run game's been good. Defensively, we've mostly been solid. The run defense has been kind of weak, but overall, pretty good, having only allowed 3 points. Let's take a look at the games around the rest of the league. Apparently, there's only 3 games here, which is weird because this is the Monday night game. Every game should be done by now, so I'm not really sure why some of these game scores are just not showing up, but okay, we'll roll with it. Going into the second half, I think we're probably going to run the ball a lot. The passing game has been really good, but assuming we can hold on to our lead, we should be able to chew some clock. Juskins has been really good so far. Hopefully he can keep it going. Milan Santa hasn't been so good, so hopefully we can get him comfortable. And then defensively, it's the opposite. The Bears are probably going to throw it more, being that they're down. Dragons start with the ball. Here's Jamison Williams, the speedster, out of bounds for a first down. The little back ailment proves to not be an issue for Puma Whitlock. He looks just fine in the zone as he goes up the middle. What a catch! Colin Robinson comes down with it to the 41. Robinson's first catch of the game coming off of a career day last week. Good to see him still making some ridiculous grabs as it's 3rd and 1. Handoff for Davis. He does not get it. What a tackle there by the defensive end as the rookie tight end, Gift Aaron, is now hurt. 4th and inches. Offense is going to stay on the field and go for it. Juskins with the carry. He gets the first and more up the middle. Big hole for Darwin Juskins to the 16, and now Chris Gentry is hurt. I will say, I know there's been a lot of injuries, but not a lot of severe ones. These guys should be fine. 3rd and 2, Darwin Juskins with the first down. Now he's injured, and unfortunately, his injury is a little bit more serious. Broken ribs for Darwin Juskins. That's a multi-week injury. That's our starting running back out for probably the next month. So Milan Santa's going to be the guy out of the backfield. You're going to see some Tornado Davis as well, as Puma Whitlock misfires on the play action there on 3rd and goal. Good coverage by Hasim Cypress. 4th and goal at the half-yard line. They're going to go for it. QB sneak, and Puma powers his way in for a touchdown. Puma's telling these D linemen, I'm bigger and stronger than you. As the Dragons add to their lead, it's 24-3. We've seen some crazy collapses in this series. I don't want to get too excited, but the Dragons look really good today. A very complete game on both sides of the ball. Here's DeAndre Swift up the middle. DeAndre Swift has been really good when the Bears have given him the ball today. Problem is he's only gotten it 4 times. They should probably use him more, especially considering their main running back has like 3 ailing injuries. Here's Fields on the read option. Wide open room. Wrapped up there by his former Buckeye teammate Jeff Okudah, but not before bringing it to the 41. 2nd and 11 now for Chicago. Fields drops back, looks to throw it under pressure. He's picked off again. It's Okudah who comes in with the interception. Jeff Okudah, of course, on an expiring contract. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to bring him back, but after seeing our defense without him over the last few weeks, I now understand how valuable he is to this team. Here's Puma Whitlock up the middle, going to run with it on 3rd down, doing his best Justin Fields impression as he gets the first down to the 46-yard line, now at the 33. Here's Franklin Headliner. His first NFL carry goes for 13 yards. With no Darwin Juskins, he's going to now see some action as the 3rd-string running back. 2nd and 8, Puma on the move. Hit as he throws, and he's intercepted. It's Phillips who picks it off for the Bears, and they will force a turnover. Puma was hit as he threw it, and the safety, Jadarius Phillips, comes in for the interception as the Bears look to get some momentum, but that will not help. Fields loses 2, wrapped up by Nnamdi Sanaga. These edge rushers have been great today. Sanaga and Ojulari have been phenomenal. 3rd and 12, up the middle. Nice throw and catch for a first down to the 47-yard line. That is Lufante Monk, the young wide receiver out of the University of Connecticut, with the conversion, despite that pass nearly being intercepted. At the 47. That's going to be a penalty, I think, on the defense, but it won't matter. Donovan Smart brings it into the red zone inside the 15. It's going to be an illegal contact penalty against Ryan Nada. The flag will obviously be declined as the Bears look to punch it in here inside the 10. 2nd and 3. Fields goes short. He's got the touchdown. Darnell Mooney slipping and sliding into the end zone for a Chicago Bears touchdown. And Chicago finally finds the end zone. Still have some work to do, but it's not over yet. 3rd and 7 with 5 to go. Puma looking up the middle for Robinson, and it's broken up, incomplete. That'll lead to an interesting 4th down in enemy territory, and the Dragons are going to go for it. They're not in field goal range. They're not in punting range. They want to get this first down and basically ice the game. Puma Whitlock calling an audible. Will it be a pass or a run? As it looks like it'll be a play action for Franklin Headliner. Puma up the middle, incomplete. Jadarius Phillips got a hand on it. It looked like Jamison Williams was going to be open, but I think he threw the pass a little bit too soon. If he gave JMO an extra second, that's probably a first down. Bears back with it. Fields gets it somehow to Darnell Mooney, who puts the defender on a poster. If the Bears can score a touchdown, I'm just saying, they can really put themselves back into the game. At the 45-yard line with 4.5 to go. Here's Fields under pressure, up the middle. Another nice throw. It's Donovan Smart who gets it to the 26-yard line. Smart, the tight end, former second rounder out of Georgia, has had a pretty productive game. 4 catches for 57 yards. At the 26, here's Fields. Clean pocket, under pressure. He's going to run with it, and he's got room. Looking to fight for extra yardage as he gets 15, wrapped up by Barber, Okudah, and Nada. From the 11, first down, Fields in the end zone. What a catch! Donovan Smart with the touchdown, and we've got ourselves a ball game. The Bears did exactly what they needed to on that drive with a quick score. They only had the ball for like a minute, and it's only a one-possession game. The Dragons are going to look to chew clock. The run game's been very effective with Darwin Juskins. Problem is, he's injured. So Milan Santa's going to have to carry the workload as he gets the first down. Big conversion for the Dragons. Past the 2-minute warning now, 3rd and 8. Santa with the handoff to the left, and he gets 6. Chicago gets a stop, and they're going to get the ball back with plenty of time. They've got 2 timeouts and around a minute 45 or so. Got to watch out for the field position, though, and there it is. What a punt! Down at the 2. The Bears now have to go the whole length of the field. They already used their first timeout of the drive, so they're down to 1. 3rd and 7. Fields under a ton of pressure from Ojulari, looking to run with it, and he is wrapped up by Jeff Okudah. So the game's going to come down to this. 4th and 7 on the line. Fields looks to throw it. He's going to take a shot downfield for a wide open receiver. It's Monk who gets the first down. Now the question is, did he get the feet inbounds? Nobody was there to cover Lufate Monk, but could he keep his footing? And as we look at the replay, there's 1, there's 2. He got both feet in. This play will stand. A massive momentum boost for Chicago. They've got everything on their side right now. 2nd and 2, still with a minute and a timeout. And decent field position up the middle for Deontay Johnson to the 34. The Bears are in field goal range. Obviously, that doesn't really mean anything, but that puts in perspective how close they are. Fields under pressure from Ojulari again. Looks to run with it, and he is tackled inbounds, and the Bears are going to use their last timeout with 30 seconds left. Fields really should have thrown it away there to stop the clock. 2nd and 6. Fields looks short. That's not a smart decision, but it is Smart who comes down with it to the 16. Bears got to run no huddle. They've got around 10 seconds left. Might be able to get one more play off. Fields going to look for the sideline. He throws it away. So now with 5 seconds left, he has to go for the end zone here. The Dragons are going to send as many guys back deep as possible here for the game. Fields in double coverage. It is picked off. Malik Hooker with the interception, and that'll do it. The St. Louis Dragons survive. This game should not have been this close. We were up 24-3 going into the 4th quarter. It looked like it was game over. And the Bears come all the way back to bring it within 1 score. They had the ball in the red zone at the end, and they just couldn't quite do it. A classic tale of too little too late. We played really well for 3 quarters, so we got to pat ourselves on the back for that. But man, we've got to finish better. That was just brutal. That's what she said, by the way. But nonetheless, a win's a win in the NFL. You can't get too upset. In terms of the offense, it started off good and then went bad. Puma Whitlock was fine. Justin Fields was also fine. The 3 interceptions was not ideal, but Fields was clutch down the stretch. The Bears ran it really well. Our run game was pretty good too. Shout out to Jarwin Juskins before he got hurt. Also shout out to DeAndre Swift. He played well with the 3 carries he got. Donovan Smart leads the way receiving-wise for the Bucs. No one really stood out for us. Only 3 catches for Arturo Modelo, a season low. And then defensively, another great game from the defensive line. 4 sacks, all of which were in the first half. None for DeJuan Overton, though. 3 interceptions from the secondary. Overall, the defense was pretty good. Obviously, the 4th quarter was kind of rough, but we did force 3 turnovers. We sent pressure. DeJuan Overton does not complete the breakout challenge, though. Everybody got a sack on the defensive line except for him. So, unfortunately, he will not move up in development trait. We do have 2 new injuries. We talked about Darwin Juskins earlier. That's going to be the big one. He will miss the rest of the homestand with broken ribs. And then the backup rookie tight end, Gift Aaron Jr., also broke his ribs, and he will also miss the next 3 weeks. Luckily, though, on the bright side, Simeon Bonnet and Ryan Jensen will be back for the next game, and Jabril Fofana is going to be back for the game after. Nonetheless, I am concerned about how we're going to do without Darwin Juskins because he's been on fire over the last 4 games. Milan Santa is going to be the main running back. I am excited for him to get a bigger opportunity. We're going to see more Tornado Davis. We're going to see more Franklin Headliner, and maybe we'll see somebody else. I don't know. Here's a look at your scores around the league. Seattle lost. We're only half a game behind the Seahawks. Players of the week, Nuevo Calciatore, Isaiah Simmons, Patrick Mahomes, and Martin Emerson. Now that we're in week 9, we can take a look at the current award voting. We don't have Puma Whitlock at the top of the MVP race, but he is in the top 5 in 5th. As for Offensive Player of the Year, Arturo Modelo's in 3rd. Nobody for Depoy. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, Milan Santa's in 5th. I imagine he's going to climb, though, with his bigger role. Same can be said for Ryan Nada, who's in 5th for Defensive Rookie of the Year, with Barahona in 9th. Puma Whitlock is 3rd for Best QB. Arturo Modelo is 2nd for Best Receiver. Lane Johnson and Samandre Mack both in the top 10 for Best Offensive Lineman. Nobody is on the list defensively, which I guess isn't really a surprise. Nobody individually has played all that well, mainly because all of our best defensive players have been hurt for parts of the year. So that's going to wrap up the episode. Next time around, we've got the Bengals and the Rams on the schedule. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a doubleheader here or a prospect profile. on running backs, receivers, and tight ends, but I guess you guys will find out in the next episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let me know what you thought of today's episode and the trade deadline down below in the comments. Peace out.